Hello and welcome to Unsettled JD. So today is day 1 here at the Leatherback Trust Organization here in Costa Rica. So first thing in the morning, I had to wake up at 5 a.m. My alarm clock didn't go off because I accidentally set it for 5 p.m. and not 5 a.m. Luckily, Irina knocked on my door. I woke up, quickly changed, and off we went. So the trail to the beach takes roughly about 30 minutes, and it's pitch black. And so we all have our trusty little head torch. So we basically come to the beach, and by the time we come to the beach, the sun is basically rising. It's still a little bit dark, but we're not allowed to have lights on the beach. So our first goal is basically walk the entire beach. So first we go north, and then once we hit north, we're looking for any turtle tracks or nesting. We know that there was one nest the night before because they came in at like 5 o'clock in the morning because the turtle laid her eggs late. Yeah, so we went north, there was nothing there, and then we came back down south, and then we found the trail. So when we find the trail, we basically try to hide it, and then we see if anyone's poached or if the nest has laid eggs, and just kind of looking at the nest. So the nest that we found was basically empty. So you can tell that like there was a hole and there was like kind of sand everywhere. So we thought like maybe someone poached it. But later we found out that she basically abandoned that pit and then moved somewhere else and dug her hole there. Yeah, and then we couldn't tell if there was some maybe hatchlings because we found a lot of like, I want to say turtle marks. I'm not sure if they're turtle or crab marks, but there was like a lot in like some areas. So we basically just put in like a stick and then write down the coordinates so that way Keeler can find it and make sure that see if it was a turtle nest or hatchling. Yeah, so then we were basically done by 7:05 in the morning, and then we walked back. There was only one person on the beach, so we just kind of like watch for activity to make sure they're not there to poach eggs or any suspicious activity. Yeah, and then after that I went basically back straight to bed, got back into bed in pajamas, slept until basically noon, and then I basically woke up in time for lunch. So we ate lunch, and then after lunch we played dominoes to see who washes the dishes. Didn't have to wash the dishes, and then we basically just started reading a book because we had the afternoon to do whatever. And then at 2 o'clock we're supposed to get ready, and we're supposed to leave camp at 2:30. Well, between 2 and 2:30 we have to take temperatures of the beach. So there's 4 points along the beach, so there's and the wires are down deep, obviously at varying levels during the sand. So this project is mostly to see the temperature of the sand and to basically to coincide with like climate change. So they're seeing if the sand's getting hotter at the different lengths, because obviously sea turtles are their sex is determined by the temperature of the sand. Yeah, so then we just kind of walk along the beach. I wrote in the notebook, and then Elena just read the numbers off to me. So obviously the top of the sand was really hot, and then obviously the lower was a bit cooler. And so yeah, so there's the 4, and then so 2 are in direct sunlight and 2 are in shade. Because obviously sometimes the turtles will lay their eggs in shade. Yeah, so then that was that, and then I went back to camp right after that because I had the patrol that night, and so Oena stayed on the beach because she gets some Wi-Fi at the far end, and I walked back and I just read and chilled because that night is going to be exhausting. So yeah, so all day just, and then 7 o'clock actually I don't know, and Keeler was supposed to set up traps, but they weren't working or something, and so they came back to camp late. They came back at like 6 something, and dinner was supposed to be ready at 7, so dinner was a little bit late. And it was funny because when we were going over the information, Keeler was like, if we have to have supper like ready at 7, you have to start cooking at 6, you must be on time, and he was late. So that was really funny. And then yeah, so then it was night patrol for me. So me, Honey, and Katarina went out, and so basically we walked to the north. So again, it's pitch black, you can't see anything, and no lights on the beach because obviously the turtles are going to come up. So we walk the north beach, and then we walk back down to the south beach, and then we take a 40-minute rest. But it was like 9 o'clock, a little after 9. I was like, I am not sleepy. So I just decided to like work out. So I did some yoga, stretched. It's fantastic. And then once the alarm clock goes off, we prep up, we clean up, and then we walk back down, and then we found a turtle. Well, actually, I found the turtle. I was kind of really excited. So as we were walking, everyone was a little bit slow. And I was like full of energy. So I was walking, then I stopped, and I was like, in the water, I was like, is that a turtle? Because like you could see it moving and like the waves, and then you could see like when the waves came, you could see like the white, but this one little spot wasn't. And I was like, this isn't like the rocky area, so it's gotta be a turtle. So we waited, and then it came on shore, and we're like, yep, it's a turtle. So then they write down the information, like when it emerges out of the water, and then when it was emerging, Caitlin had Henny and I go to the North Beach to check to see if there's any more turtles, and then we came back. And she somehow within that time frame, she came back onto the beach, and she was starting to make her little nest area, and that took a while. So basically we just made camp. So we got all our blankets out and then sat there, and then it takes a while because she came up at like a little after 10, and then she like moved to where we were. She was literally in front of us, so we were all camped, and she was literally like right in front of us. So we basically got to watch her make her nest, and it takes a long time. So because when the turtle came out of the water, I thought it would be a Ridley because it was small, but it wasn't. It was a green turtle, or they call them black turtles here. And yeah, so we basically just waited and waited and waited for her to make her nest. And you can't make any noises, obviously you can't have any lights, so you just kind of like sit there and wait. So once she got done with her pit, then she makes like a hole. So her black flipper, she basically digs a hole and when the eggs come out. And yeah, so then once she's done doing that, that's when she starts laying her eggs. And Caitlin asked who wanted to count the eggs, and I was like, I do. So I ended up getting to count the eggs. So you have to like slowly like go around here, no lights of course, and then you just kind of pop down. I made like a little spots out of the sand, and then yeah, so then I had like a counter, so every time she laid eggs, you just click click click, and you just kind of sit there, and you have to wear a mask and gloves, obviously because of COVID. So the gloves are if you need to touch the turtle. I didn't, because I could see perfectly, because sometimes they'll do the black flipper will be like over the hole for the eggs. And yeah, so she laid 86 eggs, that's what I counted. And so while that was happening, Henny would do the triangulation. So there's posts everywhere along every 25 meters, and then they do both, so one from each end, and then they write down the location, so that way they can find the nest later. And yeah, so yeah, and then once that's done, and once she starts covering the sand back in, they check the tags, see if she's been tagged, because all of them have a chip, and all of them have a metal tag as well, just in case. So they do that, and then they measure the carapace, and they do that 3 times, and then that's it. We just kind of let her go. Once we've collected all of that data, we walked back to the North Beach to check that. There was nothing. Everyone was, well, I guess they were tired, so they took like another 40-minute rest, and I was like, I am not sleepy. I'm like, I just had like the longest break ever. So I decided that, and I was a little bit chilly, so I decided that I would walk back down. So I walked down all the way down to the south, and then all the way back. And then when I reached back, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, well, we've only got like an hour left. I don't want to sleep. So and I figured that they'd be up at some point, but they didn't. And so I guess I decided to work out, and then at like 2:30 I was like it's 2:30, are we gonna like walk the beach another time? So we ended up packing up, and we started walking down, and by the time that happened it was like 3, so we headed back to camp where we slept. So I was excited because I had 1 turtle, and I got to count the eggs on the very first night, so it's exciting. So hopefully more exciting stuff will happen next. Bye.